after the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah, and the kuffar was watching, he asked the Muslims, show strength, show your right shoulder to show to the unbelievers we are strong. So the Muslim has to walk with pride and strength, rather than what we see that somebody wants to show his pious, he's walking weakling and whatnot. So here he's advising his son, waqsud fi mashyak, walk steady, walk right, don't walk wrong, waghdud min sawtak, and keep your voice down. And keep your voice down, and he reminds him that the worst kind of voice is the donkey's voice. And so talk in a low way, don't talk too loud, as we see some young people talking loud and laughing loud. So he's reminding us to talk in a small way. And here Sheikh al-Sha'rawi means, does that mean that the donkey is a bad animal? No, the donkey does what he is supposed to do. But when we imitate him, we are imitating the wrong thing, and we have to watch out. So no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not putting the donkey down. The donkey is obeying Allah and doing exactly what he's asked to do. But we as humans, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a nice voice, and we keep it down, inshallah. So here we see all the advice of Luqman to his son. And that's what we have to reflect, to tell our children and advise our children, rather than the only advice most of us give to our children now is your career, son, it's the most important thing. And we're not saying it's not important, it is important, but if you want them to have a good career, you have to set them on the right path, both for knowledge and religion. And here Luqman is showing us what the best advice to our children is. Another quick thing, just a reminder, as the month of Ramadan is over, to remind myself and everybody that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who he has fasted Ramadan and 6 days of Shawwal as if he fasted the whole year. And the scholar tells us, if you add Ramadan 30 days or 29 and you add 6, you get 36, multiply by 10, you get 360, which is the lunar year. If you get 10, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you 10 for 1. So as if you fasted the whole year. So just a reminder for me and you to fast, inshallah, the 6th day of Shawwal. Another thing, as we're talking about advice to children, I got an email the other day that says that Bill Gates has visited the high school and advised some of the students these advices. And I thought it was nice to listen. I don't know if it was Bill Gates or who else, but the advice itself is valid advice, where the first advice, life is not fair, get used to it. Where, you know, we always hear our children saying, this is not fair. The first advice is life is not fair. And as we said in the ayah, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكَ. Even though you're doing the good and everything, expect bad things and be patient. Subhanallah. The next thing, the next advice, it says the world doesn't care about your self-esteem. The world expects you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. We're constantly telling our children to feel good about themselves and do nothing, rather than encourage them to achieve something. The next advice is, if you mess up, it's not your parents' faults. And we see a lot of children these days, they're always blaming the parent for everything that happens to them. So don't whine about your mistakes, learn from them, and we have to tell our children to learn from their mistakes. The next advice, which I saw was the best one, it said your parents weren't boring, the ones you think are boring now, they weren't boring when they were young. They had a life too and they were fun, but now you see them boring because they work hard to pay your bills and pay for your education, so don't look down at them, subhanallah. So most children think that their parents know nothing and they are boring. No, it is working hard to provide for the family. And he said, before you go and want to save the environment, why don't you go and clean your room first before you're worried about the world? And we all know how teenagers are, and if you walk in their room or their closet, how upside down it is. So his advice is, before you go out on a crusade to save the environment, go and clean your room first. And one more thing, says that don't look down on flipping burgers like you do now. Look at your grandparents, and they looked at flipping burgers as an opportunity and a dignified job, meaning we have to accept any job rather than looking down on those who are working and those who are doing things. One last thing, life is not divided into semesters. You don't get summer off, and very few employees are interested in helping you find yourself. Do that on your own time. What it means is at school encourages young people, if you fail, try again. If you fail, try again. Rather than explaining to our children, life does not give this many chances and they have to work hard and they have to achieve things. I thought, this is part of the advice that we hear from Luqman to his children, and reflect on some of these things, what we have to realize for our children to do, inshallah. And we always should read Surah Luqman to ourselves and to our children and discuss with them these advices that Luqman has given to his children, and remember that he was given the wisdom, and this is the summary of his wisdom to his son. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the wisdom, inshallah. Allahumma hdina mawlana fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa qina wasrif anna sharra ma qadayt. Allahumma barik lana fi ma atayt, Allahumma kun ma'ana wa la takun alayna, Allahumma la taj'al lana fi jam'ina hadha dhanban illa ghafartah, ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا حاجة لنا في هذه الدنيا لك فيها رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان، ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا متقين إماما. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان